All right, hello. This is Whitney.
And it's Alicia.
And this is the Luxe Hour podcast.
Join us weekly as we encourage Black women to elevate into luxury.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so excited to be back. We have not been on the mics in a long time.
Literally, season 2, baby.
Season 2, big pieces. We back. Okay, so per usual, wine of the week. So we have some new segments that we're gonna. Oh shoot! Then we gotta start all the way over.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Okay,
It's all good.
That's okay. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay,
I know that would have been a freaking nightmare.
girl, I'm like,
Girl, my
you know that TikTok is like,
Right.
okay, so you just like
Is it picking up my audio?
no, it was fun, but now this one.
Hello. Ooh. Hello.
Okay, still working. Okay, there we go.
All right, we are
Okay.
live. All right.
Take 2, season 2. Hello. This is Whitney,
And it's Alicia.
and this is the Luxe Hour podcast.
Join us weekly as we encourage Black women to elevate into luxury.
All right, so for real this time, we actually just recorded this intro, and I did not have the mics recorded. So, hello again, and welcome back for season 2 of the Luxe Hour podcast. I'm so excited to be back. How you been?
I really am. I've been good. You know, a lot is transpiring.
This is true.
What
Lots
about
happening.
you?
Same here. Lots going on, which I guess we'll catch y'all up on that just throughout the episodes. But
Yes.
at the same time, everything's kind of still the same.
I know.
Which is a blessing the way that the world is changing. I feel like the world is becoming a very expensive and tumultuous place. And so it is a
Absolutely.
blessing for it to still be the same on my end for the most part.
I know it really is. Like a lot of people were, even if we look at, you know, the recession that we had, that's where millionaires were made. I mean, a lot of people, you know, generated wealth at that point. And some suffered, of course, but a lot of people did well. And then you did have some people who maintained. So thank God for just maintaining at the very least.
Hallelujah. And
Yes.
yeah, and to those of y'all who are dealing with rent increases, gas price increases, food price increases, like we are right there with you. It is just rough, but just hang in there. We still gonna find ways to live a luxe life, even though the world is doing its thing right now.
Yeah, so this is Luxe Hour 2.0.
This is Luxe Hour 2.0. So we have some new segments this year.
We do.
We're not gonna launch them all on y'all, so it'll be a surprise. But we have a couple that we're gonna visit today. So we're gonna add on a mailbag portion. So we're excited about that today. If you have situations going on in your life that you want insight on, that you want our advice on, that you just want to like get off your chest, let us know. There should be a link in our bio. I believe it's there. If not, it will be by the time y'all hear this episode.
Yes.
So submit anything that you want there or through our DMs, and we will give you some insight or advice. Anything. It can be financial topics. It can be relationship topics. It can be brand recommendations. Beauty. Anything that y'all want to talk about. So we'll have that. This is new. And then
I'm excited for that.
I'm trying to think, is there another new one that we're covering today? Not really.
Today, no, that's it.
That's the new one for today.
Yeah, that's
But
just
there's more new ones to come.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of our segments, we'll start off the way we always do with a wine of the week.
Indeed.
And it looks like Alicia got a red today, so I'm super excited for that. So without further ado, could you hand me the bottle, please?
Absolutely.
Oh, all right. Now we have here a Robert Mondavi Private Selection. This is a bourbon barrel aged Cabernet Sauvignon. So I'm very excited about this. This bottle was bottled in California in 2019. It's interesting that this was bottled in bourbon barrels.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming I would give it a little bit of a bourbon edge.
I know.
Random but fun fact, if you're ever in Nashville or the Nashville area, check out the Uncle Nearest Distillery. It is an amazing experience. Black owned distillery. Is owned by this phenomenal, speaking of our topic today, Black woman. And I mean, she is just like a heavy hitter on all fronts. But she basically stumbled upon the Uncle Nearest brand, which is he was the slave who taught Jack Daniels how to make.
I remember you telling me about this. Yeah, okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so she basically found his story and is doing it justice by going big. Like, they opened up this whole distillery. You can buy Uncle Nearest whiskey in stores, so check that out. But anyway, they age all of their whiskey in these huge barrels, and you can go through like 2 of them. So I'm just trying to imagine wine in those whiskey barrels and like, what are we in more? Okay.
What are we doing here?
What are we doing
interested.
Here?
That is the very reason why I picked up the bottle. I'm going to be honest, because I said bourbon barrel.
14.5%.
Interesting. Oh, you know we love a heavy
wine. You know we love a heavy wine. This might be our heaviest. I feel like before this one was a 13.5, which is normally what Cabernet sit at, but 14.5 is like...
Yeah, I feel like it's up there.
Okay.
I do remember the 13.5 when I said, woo. I remember doing that, but yes. All right, Whitney.
All right, so this Cabernet Sauvignon blends the craftsmanship of California winemaking with the southern tradition of bourbon whiskey barrel aging. The cool climate of our coastal vineyards imparts the wine with deep flavors of black cherry and blackberry. Select lots are then aged in bourbon whiskey barrels. Oh, so it's after. It's aged after. Okay. Select lots are then aged in bourbon whiskey barrels, delivering rich nuances of vanilla, brown sugar, and subtle toasted oak when added to the blend. Oh, that is the flavor profile of a good whiskey. So that's what I'm super excited about.
We shall see here.
Let us see. So that's glass number 1. I'm going to pour them light so we can make it through this episode.
Amen.
But then I'm about to take this bottle.
Indeed. Knock yourself out.
All right, there's that.
And you literally might.
You literally might with bourbon Cabernet.
Yes.
Okay, here's that.
Absolutely. It's hidden.
I smell every bit of that bourbon. I am fascinated by the fact that this is a bourbon barrel aged wine. That is like fascinating me.
Found at your local CVS.
Come on, CVS. This is actually really good. This is a lot less bold than you would expect a Cabernet to be, and I like that about it. It's a lot less bold than you would expect a Cabernet to be. I like it. I actually really like it. What do you think?
Let's see here. You definitely feel the taste, the flavor of the barrels for sure. Like you can definitely taste the flavors, but it's really smooth. It has a really good taste to it.
It does.
It has like a really good taste to it. A nice smooth berry. You can tell it's pretty rich, not too rich. Honestly, this is like a perfect date night wine.
It is.
I can see this paired with like a phenomenal steak, like literally
easily. Yeah, and I can taste every bit of that vanilla from that whiskey. I'm serious. Like if you're a whiskey drinker, honestly, like ladies, if your man likes like whiskey,
he'll love this wine.
He'll love this wine. Really, this is a good one.
Honestly, like I'm really pushing for like a red wine. This is like 9.5, almost 10 out of 10 for me.
You really like
I
it.
really like it.
Because you're not even big on like reds for real.
I like reds, but I usually like a sweet red.
Like a sweet red.
And so, but the thing is with this one, when I did used to drink like a lot of liquor, then I would drink, again, I would like a whiskey or I would always do like a dark liquor. And so this is a perfect combination of having that and having that feeling, that hit, but also at the same time, it's still being really smooth and being in wine form. So I think this just bridges the perfect gap to get your man onto some wine. So if you have a man, like you said, that loves whiskey, bourbon, this would be the perfect transitional. Yes, this is a great cigar lounge wine.
I mean, you really can feel it in your chest. Like when you take a shot of, how when you take a shot of whiskey or a sip of whiskey, you can like feel it floats around your chest. I feel like this wine does the same thing.
It really does, and it has a really good taste, really good flavor, guys. Literally, I think this is like a perfect red wine, like that perfect bridge.
All right, okay, Robert. You did what you needed to do. Luxe Hour approved.
It's giving all that
it's giving what it needs to give. Period. All right.
Yes, so guys, for those of you who don't know, we always do our treat of the week. Whit and I share. So treat of the week. So pretty much your treat of the week is whatever luxury that you've indulged in for the week. And we all know that yes, luxury has its definition, but it can also be a bit, subjective as well. So so Whit, what was your treat of the week?
Goodness.
I am curious. We have a long time to cover, so feel free to reach back on in there.
Treats with a capital. I have treated myself so much since I last saw y'all that I will now be putting on for the budgeting Luxies for this entire season. Because Lord, what have I not purchased? Honestly, say my favorite purchase. So I bought a standing desk. So I work from home.
That's perfect.
And I was like, I had just a standard desk like that. It's like a glass top desk. But I was like, I need to be able to stand up, to be able to move. Like, I spend my whole day at this desk. So I ordered a standing desk. But then, get this. Shout out to you TikTok ladies who post all your cool things on there, because somebody put me onto a walking pad. So it's a treadmill without the arms, and you can slide it under your desk.
So you can just walk on it.
Yes. This was the best $500 I ever spent. I'm serious. If you work from home, having the ability to like stand up and to move your body, to walk while you're working. I mean, people like comment on it all the time, like, are you walking? What are you walking on? And I'm like, it's just a walking pad up under my desk. I mean, I can walk on it like while I'm working if I just need to move, or you know what I mean? Like, but then if not, I just take it, slide it up under the couch, and put my chair. I just got a cute little desk chair, and I raise that desk right back down to a sitting position and sit in my chair like normal. So I love it. Absolutely, absolutely one of my favorite treats. Highly recommend if you work from home. I think they also have like under the desk like bike pedals.
Okay.
And then they also have like an elliptical where you can like elliptical do it. So I mean, if you're trying to get your health goals together but you work from home and you're trying not to deal with the gyms and all of the monkeypox madness, get you a standing desk and a treadmill, and that'll change the game for sure.
Yes, I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it, because again, it's so important to get your blood flowing, but also at the same time to have something that increases your mobility, or at least it definitely increases your mobility, but it also gives you that feeling to like you feel active, and I can just imagine how that can give you more energy throughout the day, but even like mentally kind of give you that peace of mind, like, okay, well, I'm working, I'm doing something, I'm up, I'm active, so to keep you more engaged at work. So I love that.
Thank you, girl. Thank you. I'm so sorry. Speaking of at work, I'm literally checking emails right now.
Hey, we have to get it by all means. We definitely have to get it by all means.
What about you? What was your treat of the week?
So I would say the treat that I would go with the most is going to be it was my two sisters, and then also one of my cousins. Okay. We had like a little cousin sister retreat, so like a little girls retreat.
Come on, girls trip.
And so, I mean, my cousin, she lives in Chicago, which, by the way, I mean, I don't want to tell y'all, what all she has in her home, but just know she has a beautiful home. She bought a home. It was a fixer-upper, and I mean, literally, she customized this baby to perfection. Like, super sleek, super modern, and she's really into, like, decor. She's, like, multifaceted, for sure. But I love her decor, her design skills. But anyway, so we had it in her beautiful home, which had a ton of, like, natural light, major windows, a nice patio. She lives right off of the lake. So she moved to the suburbs, and so now she's out there. It's like 35, 40 minutes outside of downtown Chicago. So, but anyway, so we were there. So literally it was a night where it was a charcuterie board night with wine. And then woke up the next day, we had breakfast. It was shrimp and grits. And when I tell you, she's an amazing cook. Like, no cap at all.
We need to figure out how we can get invited to this next one.
No cap at all.
We need to put our heads together and be at this next girls trip.
Literally, guys. Like, I posted on my TikTok. I did not post it on like an Instagram reel or anything, but just know that it was all that. And sis gave me the recipe. So,
I believe it.
Honey, it was amazing. So we did that, and then we visited London House, which that building, it's right off of the river. So it was a restaurant on the 21st floor that we ate at. The 22nd floor was where they had like their rooftop bar. Amazing views, such a great vibe. I mean, literally, it was enchanting to be there. Rode around the city on a little bicycle. And then we just chatted. We talked all night, just caught each other up on what's going on, because we do have a group chat. But we just talked about some things that were pressing, from family to relationship to friends to just career and businesses that some of us were partnering on together, because she did my logo for one of my like ventures. It was just a great time. Like, literally, it was a sisterhood trip. It was a bonding experience. It was just so great. We relaxed. We had fun. I mean, she's very hospitable. So we just had an amazing time. And to me, that was just such a treat, because it compounded, family for me, but as well as relaxation. And I think that those are often two things that we do truly neglect. Because a lot of times, even myself, when I go on trips, it's, oh, what can I go do? But it was like literally, I mean, we relaxed.
Yeah.
I mean, we sat on the porch, we had the wine, we looked at the lake, we watched the sun come up.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, it was just such a great time, y'all. But so that was definitely like the treat of the summer, I would say. Sorry. That was the treat of the summer. It was the treat of the summer. So we'll just leave it at that. So anyway, that was like my treat of the week, but more or less my treat of the summer.
Love it. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Well, I guess we can get into this topic.
All right.
Now that we done told y'all the good of being a high-performing woman,
Yes.
let's get into the downsides. So Alicia sent me this video on TikTok, and we're just gonna play it for y'all because the video speaks for itself. But what we want to talk through, right, is the struggles that high-performing women run into in life. I think we put a lot of light on elevating your lifestyle and moving upward and forward in the world, but as we know that nothing good comes without sacrifice. So there are burdens to bear for every blessing that you achieve or every blessing that you secure. So we just want to get into like, what are some of the downsides of being a high-performing woman? So do you want to pull up the video, or you want me to? I think I thought
if you can pull it up, that would be great.
Let's
it was like the very last TikTok that I sent you. Yes, we sent TikToks.
And then my boy don't have a TikTok, so it has to open up on Safari.
Oh, shoot.
But he still let me watch it.
It'll play, honey.
It'll play. Okay, so this is from @CamSteele, and I'm gonna unmute it and then let it play.
This was like perfection, guys. You ready?
So, like, what's your type of woman? Well, you know, I like a woman who got her own, you know what I'm saying, who has her own bag and everything, you know what I mean? Oh, well, you're gonna love me, baby, because I have a PhD in law, I own my own law firm, I have 3 cars, and I own 2 properties in New York, and I have another one in Los Angeles, and I'm also a millionaire, so the bag ain't never gonna be a problem with me. Oh, you think you're better than me now? Well, let me tell you something. All your money and your degrees won't keep you warm at night. See, that's the problem with you females today. You're too damn masculine, and you think you don't need a man. You just said you want a woman who has her own. See, there you go, being argumentative and combative. See, all men want is a woman who's gonna let them be a man and provide for them. Okay, if you want, if we get to that point, I can work less hours. I'm not providing for no able-bodied bitch. Why do I have to be a bitch, sir? Are you questioning me right now? See, that's your problem. You're too damn independent and always want to know some shit. You know what? I'm done with this right here. I'm done. You know what? You know, that's why your ass gonna die alone with cats. Honestly, that doesn't sound too bad right now.
Give me the cat, baby.
It was good. That doesn't sound too bad right now for me. Like, I think we felt that.
What would I rather be doing? Spending time with you? Okay, anyway. It's not
Take it from
really
the
close.
And Steve.
This is, again, a little late, but apologies for the language. But y'all grown. So, yeah. So this is the video, right? So for those of you who missed it or who need to play it back, essentially there was a guy that was just kind of playing out this scenario where this man was basically like, you know, I want a woman he was talking to the woman. I'm looking for a woman who is, who has her own, who's able to carry her own weight, right? And she goes, oh, that's perfect. You don't love me then because that INDEPE, you call me Webby, right? Like, she's like, I got it. And he was like, oh, you don't have no time for me for one. And then he's like, you're trying to be too much of an alpha female.
Think you better than me?
You think you better than me, right? He automatically feels
projection.
I mean, then she's like, okay, well, I mean, if we get together and we get to that point, I'll stop working. I'll cut back on my hours. And he's like, and you think I'm just supposed to take care of you, right? And so you can hear this woman in this lose-lose situation, right?
She's like, well, I'm throwing things out there. I'm trying to be submissive.
She's danged if she does, danged if she doesn't. You know what I mean? If she has her own, she's screwed. If she doesn't, she's screwed. If she wants or expects a lot from a man, she's screwed. If she doesn't expect anything from him, he feels like she don't need him or she don't respect him or look down on him. So that's the video. So we wanted to kind of break down that, but then we also want to get into how do, as women, we avoid falling into the trap of, I tread lightly in saying the trap of wanting it all, but I want to say the trap of putting unrealistic expectations on what it is that you will receive from a male partner.
Yeah, absolutely. As a high or higher achieving woman, Black woman, of course.
Yeah, and then past that, right? Because dating isn't the only struggle, even though it is probably the largest of the high achieving women.
Sure.
There's also other things that come with friends, right? That come with family, that come with just various hurdles affecting several different areas of your life when you are elevating and moving forward, and people feel left behind, or people feel as though your elevation has in some way threatened their livelihood. So there's all these things to talk about. What do you want to start with? Like, where should we start?
Oh my God. I think we can start with the video and then definitely go from there. But the first piece that I wanted to comment on is even this notion of a man saying that he wants an independent woman. Let's break that down.
Okay,
I think that that's where it starts, because oftentimes you hear men with the same rhetoric, right? Like, well, I want an independent woman. I want a woman who got her own. But then immediately, as you notice, once the woman is listening, well, this is how I have my own, and I'm very self-sufficient, and matter of fact, I'm so independent that really I have the means to provide everything for myself. Once that is communicated to a man, then I think that's when his true desires come out. And what he hears when a woman says, well, yeah, I'm independent, I can take care of myself, what he then hears is, oh, well, you don't need me, you're too masculine then. But what he's really communicating is that I truly don't want an independent woman. I want a woman who has her own, to where I'm not the sole provider, or I don't take care of her, but I just want a woman that I can still control.
You want some malleable woman.
So you want a woman that's malleable, like that the viral video of the guy that says he wants young women, 21 and 25, because they're malleable. In other words, pliable, easily influenced. So essentially, I think that let's break that down, because what he was alluding to in that video is that a man will say all day he wants an independent woman, but truly, no, he wants you to be self-sufficient to where he doesn't have to rise up and up his resources to be the man that can provide a lifestyle for you in which he would have more control. He just doesn't want to completely give it over. So once he figures out that you're the woman that has her own to the point to where he doesn't control you or can't control you or just doesn't have the resources to, then instantly he's turned off. It's a different story. But that's because it's not an honest statement that a lot of men want an independent woman. I think that we need to break down what men are truly feeling when they say that, and what we perceive it to be, which is the actual definition that they've given us.
The definition I feel like that they mean is when a man is raised by, we've talked about this before, when a man is raised by a single woman, he sees a model wherein the man is able to just exist and be loved simply for existing.
Correct.
And the woman, it falls on her shoulders to keep things up and running, right? We all should seek to be loved just for existing, but that's from Jesus, right? Like the Lord who saved you loves you just because you exist, right? But men who start out the conversation is, I want a woman that's independent. If you read between the lines in that, all that that's saying is, I do not want a woman who will be looking to me to provide. I don't want a woman that's going to need me.
Correct.
The problem is men need to feel needed, right? Or they feel threatened. And so then the very next transition in the video, he's like, oh, you think you better than me? You think like you got something that I don't? Well, I do. For one, have something that you don't have, but you think that I'm better than you. You know? Yeah, and we've talked about, I think we did an episode where I think we focused a lot on this video where this lady was essentially saying, like, it is better for the male's self-esteem. Yeah. Right? That he is the pride, the breadwinner for certain males, right? Now, what I will say is that masculinity has evolved so much as the feminine has evolved, that the biggest thing is that the masculine has to be able to contain the feminine. So what happens is when you're a powerful woman, or when you're a woman who is high achieving or high performing, you have to be able to find a vessel who's large enough to receive you. And most men, when you try to squeeze in there, and they can feel you not fitting, but as women, we don't like to admit, I don't fit in this vessel.
Exactly.
And so
we're busting out of the seams.
We're busting out. We like sucking into it like a dress that we like from college. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, baby, that doesn't fit, right? And so rather than to express that and say, I don't feel like I have what is needed to contain all that you bring, right? A man will say, you just think you better than me. You just act like you just can't fit in here.
When the truth is, they lack the capacity. To hold you.
Yeah.
And they don't have the resources. They don't have, whether it be the status, the financial resources, the societal reach or the social reach. They don't have that to be able to support your lifestyle and what you would need to be fulfilled. Because that's the thing too. Men know exactly what women need.
Yeah, because they want the same things.
And I think so many times, like, we don't give them enough credit. We're just like, oh, well, boys will be boys. They don't really know what they want. No, they know exactly what they want. You know, I think that and we'll talk a little about later, the thing is that they just want to have it all.
Yeah.
And they feel like they should have it all. They're not dealing in their realm of reality. They're dealing in a fantasy, in a dream world.
Yeah. Well, and me and Alicia, we talked about this before the show started. Society has made a lot of false promises and sold a lot of us dreams, and particularly the Black community, I feel like, has fallen victim to this at a great pace. So the way that you and I were talking about it, women are told, if you do XYZ, you'll be able to find, if you do ABC, you'll be able to find XYZ type of husband, right? Meaning if you are this type of woman, then you'll be able to secure this type of man.
Correct.
The problem is that men are told, once you do ABC, you'll be able to have every woman. So by the time a woman reaches that level, she says, I was promised my dream man.
Yeah.
I did the work. I got my degree. I got my own bag. Now I want a man with a bag. And I kept my body together, so I want a man that's still fine. And I have my own place, so I want a man who has his own, right? And I'm growing and I'm evolving and I'm starting a business, so I want a man that's ambitious, right? That was the promise made to women, though. A man was told that once he did all those very same things, he would not have to just pick one. He could have any woman that he wants. And
I forgot the quote and I forgot who said this quote, but he said, you will never lose women chasing money, but you will lose money chasing women. And what he was implying from that stance is that when you get the money, you won't even have to chase the women will chase you.
They'll chase you.
And but again, the inverse just doesn't work. And so men, they know this notion, and that's why they strive, and that's why they want so hard to be rich, because they understand that, hey, when I get money, that means I can have anyone I want, so with a lack thereof effort and a lot of other things.
But then I guess a hard question to ask would be, are women not perpetuating that then? If women are saying, I want to be the best version of myself so that I can get a man with money, and a man is saying, I have been told that once I get money, I'll have my pick of the litter, are women not perpetuating that by choosing based off of money?
So I think that what women are I think when women can perpetuate it in a negative notion, I think when a woman is saying that just because this man has money, I will sleep with him. I will give him my body. I will give him so much access to me, and I will not allow any room for reciprocity. I think that I think that you can perpetuate it, but not in necessarily a negative way when you're saying that, okay, well, I want a man who has money, and that's the most important thing to me, because that's one of my most important things. But I think where it becomes a problem and where it becomes toxic is when you have the women that are lined up to sleep with this man, knowing that he has a wife, knowing that he has a girlfriend, knowing that, they're dispensable and not requiring him to be a man at all, not requiring for that man to treat them with respect and with dignity or to give them intentionality. I think that's where it's really problematic in that sense. But I think that's when it's a problematic perpetuation. But yeah, I mean, even desiring a man who has an abundance of money, yeah, it's a perpetuation. But I just don't think that it's necessarily in a negative way.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think I would agree fully. I think it's just positioned as a reward. And so if that is positioned as a reward, you have men that say, like, well, don't that make us the prize? And like, I guess my question is, like, doesn't it? If the reward for a woman being the maximum version of herself or her ultra persona, right? Her top, if the reward for that is a rich man, ain't that the prize? I mean, like, I'm just trying to wrap my mind around, you know what I mean? Like,
and I think that was,
because then I guess my thought is, okay, so then you get the rich man, what about you makes, and I hate to even ask this, right? Because that's the question that they always ask is, like, what do I get in return? But if you say, no, I'm still the prize, is it because we bear children? Is it because we comfort the men? Does that make us the prize?
I think this is what makes women the prize, because at the end of the day, men can't produce amongst themselves. They cannot produce a legacy. And one thing about it is, a man is egotistical in nature.
But they can produce outside of marriage, and they can produce legacy outside of marriage.
They can, but every truly powerful man knows that that's not truly a legacy, though. And so that's why you will have like the Bill Gates or your super ultra rich men. They typically do have wives and they have children, because still, in a sense, even though we are more modern, everyone still, in terms of legacy, that's still very traditional. Mm-hmm. So they may have kids outside of that wedlock. They may cheat on her every day. She's there for optics, but they understand the power in, okay, well, I have a legacy. I had a family. I had a 2-parent household. Regardless, no matter how trash of a husband that they were in that sense, they had a husband, they had the kids, they had the white picket fence, they had the image. And I think that they still desire that. And so with that being said, even like your Donald Trumps with like Ivanka Trump, they still want that woman that they feel like is worthy of being that trophy for them. But not only that, a woman who can procreate for them, because that's really what it is. Because honestly, a lot of men just see women as, you know, a tool, ultimately a tool to really procreate and keep on that legacy and to be the face of their legacy alongside with their children. Because, you know, let's be honest, sometimes these men don't even want the children. And you hear those stories about, it was like a viral TikTok video, and a guy, he was saying, would you save your wife or save your child? Well, that child has my blood, save the child, like without a question. And it's a lot of men that honestly agree with somebody.
But I'm saying he's a good fit for a Mallory who was really on the same stuff. Look how Mallory did.
She was athletic. Yeah, and she wanted a friend. She wanted a homie lover friend.
And she wanted to be out at brunch. She wanted to get cute. And Ayana and Mallory should have got.
They should have gotten together. Oh my god!
I was saying that the whole time.
Again, they were dating in the wrong buckets because both of them valued romance, quality time. They were someone who valued friendship.
I said that the
but
whole
again,
show.
The guy he wanted that girl.
Just like most of you men, he feel like I done made it. I'm on TV. I want the best, the ambiguously racial. Small waist, perky tits,
nice booty.
Like, this is what I want. And he, not that Ayana didn't have that, but Ayana was delicate. She was like little, like, anyway, we ain't here to talk about her. But I'm just saying.
She was like the white picket fence girl. And Mallory was like, we in your bachelor pad doing whatever you want to do, what we want to do, having fun and doing us. We don't care about anyone else. She was more of a go with the flow.
But she tried to sell a dream like she wasn't.
She did. And
this is a whole different episode.
And that's why he really didn't even want to be friends, because at the end he came to realize you
bamboozled me.
You bamboozled me into thinking that this is what you wanted. You were this type of woman, and you really were
I think when
female version of Jared.
Yeah, and a good point to this is when they watch that back, they'll see there's no way that somebody can trick you. All of the signs was there, and you just overlooked them. When they watch that back, there's no way that either one of them can say, I never thought they would do that. They gonna look back and be like, if I was watching this, and that's how most of our relationships play out. There was never a happy ending from the start, and anybody watching along the way could have pointed that out, right? Yeah. But when we're seeking something outside of ourselves to complete us, baby, what the way to say Ray Charles too, girl. But it is an hour and a half.
Oh my god,
we have been talking for forever. But we got the mailbag done.
We did.
Y'all let us know what y'all think about that.
Yes, please submit your questions. We want to hear from you guys. Submit your statement pieces for us to kind of give our commentary on, respectfully as much as possible. As much as possible. Because we're going to keep it real with the Luxe Ladies. Because again, we are empowering and encouraging you on this podcast. So what do we say with
Well, with that though, we will toast out. Cheers till next time. We'll see y'all next time. Welcome back.